Hi everyone, today I'm going to do another project using one of the Cricut stackable mugs that you can use with infusible ink or sublimation. I'm using it with permanent vinyl for the Joy. This is the Smart Permanent Vinyl. This particular box came with so much. There's 2 boxes of 4 stackable mugs, and they each come in their own plain unmarked box, which makes them great for gift giving. And it came with a ton of Joy Smart Vinyl. Now I cut mine out on my Cricut Maker 4, and I just simply trimmed up my sheets to the right size so that I could put them on a regular Cricut mat and cut them on the Maker. Okay, I'm gonna get some stuff out of my way. These are the colors I'm using. And then I'm also going to be using the linerless transfer tape that came in the box, since it happens to be a handy small size. And I'll probably be using my scraper, my weeding tool, possibly a pair of tweezers, I haven't decided yet, and scissors to trim these down after we get them weeded. Now, I like to weed with my vinyl stuck to my mat. It makes it a lot easier for me so it's not curling up on me, because as you can see, it kind of curls up. So let's get started. I did cut these out on the Smart Vinyl setting. It's still Smart Vinyl, I just happened to put it on a mat. Now in my case, I am wasting a lot of this because I want to show you 2 different ways to do something. I could have gone in Design Space and detached all of these colors so that I would save vinyl. But if you do that, then it's a little bit harder to place them on your project, which you'll see as I get further in and you see what this is. I'm doing a string of Christmas lights on this mug. Well, actually 2 strings. And I probably also could have trimmed this down before I weeded it and saved a little bit more of the vinyl, but it'll be okay. Now, if you do this particular project, I did save it and I will put a link to it below in the video for you. I have all of the like colors attached so that they cut together and they cut in the position that I had them in Design Space. It'll make it easier to place them if you want to do that with transfer tape. Ooh, the little pieces are sticky. And you could obviously do these in any colors you want. I chose to use as many of the colors that came in the box as I could. That was a big piece of vinyl. With a design like this, these pieces are all pretty simple shapes. They're, you know, just basic light bulbs. There's no intricate lines or anything like that, at least not on this part. So these I will probably actually just place by hand. But you could also use transfer tape so that you make sure that your alignment is perfect. Center stuck to my finger. Doesn't really matter where I place these, I'm just doing this to make it easier to weed them out. Now this piece has got some more intricate parts because this is the actual string for the Christmas lights. So I'm going to pull just a little bit more gently, just in case. I want to make sure I don't accidentally tear anything. Or miss a piece like what's happening right here. There we go. If the same thing happens to you that just happened to me, where this little piece was trying to pull up with the vinyl, you can just grab your weeding tool or even sometimes just your finger and kind of push it back down, and it's usually fine. Okay, last piece. Get these all off the mat. And you always want to put your cover back on your mat right away. It'll help keep it clean and keep it sticky longer. Okay, now we're going to move that out of the way. Okay, now what I usually do when I'm working with a mug is I will take a rag. I also happen to have a little mug stand thing that I can put a tumbler in or whatever to keep it straight. But I usually just grab a rag like this and roll the sides over. And then it kind of makes a cradle for the cup so it doesn't roll away. And you do want to make sure that your cup is clean and free from fingerprints. I would usually wipe this down with a little alcohol wipe just to make sure that I didn't have any oils from my hands. The first thing I think we're going to want to place is the strings. I'm going to trim this piece down just so it's not so big. You don't have to do that. I'm only doing that to make it a little bit easier for me to get it straight onto the mug. Because what we're basically doing is we're going to wrap this entire mug and get it about as close to the handle as we can. Now the way I designed this part of the string right here, this section, is what's going to come right up against the edge of your mug. So you'll have the same thing on the bottom. These two ends should touch your flat part. Now for this, because it's in several pieces, I'm going to go ahead and use transfer tape on this. And you can kind of see what I was saying about how these pieces like to curl up. Let's see, find my end here. And what I'm going to do, just so I don't waste as much, I'm going to trim it going this way, and I'll just use 2 pieces. And I'm trying to get my little grid lined up with the edge here because that'll kind of help me when I'm putting it on the mug to make sure that I've got it straight. I use my scraper just to make sure it's stuck good. Cut another piece, just like the first one. Now these will overlap in the middle because it's going to be a little bit longer than it needs to be. But that'll be fine. It won't hurt anything. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to kind of line the lines up with this piece with the lines on the other piece, just so that I kind of have a straight guideline. And don't worry if you get bubbles under your transfer tape like I just did. It won't hurt a thing because there's actually no vinyl there. And your vinyl is still straight. Okay, now what I'm probably going to do here, I always flip my backing upside down, and I peel the backing away from the vinyl. And the backing on this Smart Vinyl is really thick, so it can take some coaxing to get your design to lift off. Once you get it started, it usually goes pretty easy. Let's see if I can coax this little piece off. I'm going to turn it over and burnish it a little bit better. Okay, now let's see. There we go. Make sure I'm in frame here. Sorry, guys. You just want to peel this backing off kind of slow. You want to make sure that you're not ripping it up too fast, because you're liable to end up with pieces that don't stick. Which is kind of the issue I'm having right here. There we go. Sometimes you just got to grab your weeding tool and grab the corner of it and just get it started, and then it'll stick great. Okay, now for the next section. Go. Make sure everything's stuck good. I'm going to bring my little rag back over. Now let's see, where do I want to start this? Okay, I know I was about... Now it should be easy going from here. Just make sure you burnish it down really well. Because the mug is round, I find it easier to do this by hand. Okay, and then when you're taking your transfer tape off, you want to get it started and pull it flat back against itself. That helps to make sure that your design stays stuck to your project instead of stuck on the transfer tape. And if you happen to catch anything that doesn't stick, you can just push it back down and then go again. I'm just going back and making sure everything's stuck. Okay, and then here's our second piece. It's a little hard to keep it flat right here because the handle is kind of in the way, so I'm just gonna inch it off. Okay, there we go. Doesn't look like much now, but it's about to. Make sure everything is stuck real good. Okay, now we just got to look at our project and see which color bulbs went where. I could do this with transfer tape, but I think it's actually going to be easier to do these just using a pair of tweezers. So I'm going to pull up my design real quick so I can see which ones went to which spot. Okay, so I have my design pulled up on my phone and I can use that as my reference so I can see which ones of these little bulbs go where. It looks like this red one is the first one that goes over here. Now this is where I'm just going to use my tweezers. Oh, if I can get it started, I am. I'm going to just use my tweezers and place these by hand. Because if I try to use transfer tape again, when I stick the transfer tape onto all of the rest of this, it could pull this back up when I'm trying to peel it off. So if I place them by hand, I ensure that I'm not risking that. Okay, let's see, it's a red, green, teal, another red goes right here. Okay, and then this side is an exact reverse, so we know we have this red goes on this very end over here. See, and it goes this way. And then here's our last red. Let's see, and this one goes right here. Okay, let's make sure we're done. Done with the red. Okay, now this is the next biggest piece. So this is the teal color. Now these bulbs are all exactly the same, so if you pick up the wrong bulb, it's not going to matter. Okay, let's see, let's turn the mug back over. This one goes down here. And then one goes at the very end of this string. Okay, let's see, we're on the other side. So this one goes right here. And then we should have one more. And this one goes at the very end of this side. Okay, now let's go with the mint color. I love the teal and the mint together. I think they make such a pretty combination. Okay, this one goes right here. And then this one goes here. Anytime you are working with a project like this one where you have some piecework to do, cards even where you have more than one layer or lots of colors, it's always handy to keep design space open with your project showing so that you can use that to help you with where your pieces go or which layers go down first. Okay, let's see. That one is teal, so it's this one. Okay, that's the teal ones. And we only have 2 of these pink ones. So they pretty much just go on whatever spot is left. Okay, so one goes right here. And then the other one goes right here. Put the cap back on my tweezers so I don't jab myself. What do you think, guys? Isn't that cute? I think that makes an adorable little mug for Christmas time. Be perfect for hot cocoa. Well, I hope you enjoyed, and the link will be down below. And happy crafting!